evening, everyone, and welcome once more to Star Trek Adventures, Partisan's Edge. I am your storyteller, Rev, who will be taking on the role of Starfleet Command as we follow the adventures of the USS Vulcan's Forged. Joining me tonight is our entire cast and crew complement. We have Caligo as Captain Blackburn, Ray playing Commander Dyood, Sean playing our tactical officer, Lieutenant Commander Sakul, as well as our little bug boy there, Kirikit, our science officer, and Cheesy playing our chief medical officer, Lieutenant Barnaby Baxtra, as well as supporting character, the chief of engineering, Lieutenant Shamar. We are being hosted for our story tonight, as per usual, through the auspices of the all-seeing and omniscient GM in the Great Barrier. As always, we are grateful for him allowing us to use his streaming services to tell this story while he is on hiatus from his currently running 2 campaigns. What 2 campaigns, you might ask? Well, if you watched the intro, you might have seen the commands to see those. But those would be Star Trek Aegis, an Enterprise-era campaign following the crew of the aptly named USS Aegis, a Daedalus-class cruiser, navigating the turbulent times post the events of Star Trek Enterprise. Broken Sword, Star Trek Adventures Broken Sword, is a Klingon-centric campaign set in the decade before the events of the Battle of the Binary Stars, the battle which jump-started the Star Trek Discovery series. It follows the ragtag but relentless crew of a Raptor-class vessel as they attempt to carve out a name for themselves in a very hostile and very backstabbing galaxy. If you have not gotten a chance to do that, please feel free to check out the archives so that you can see what kind of activities those casts and crews have gotten up to. I managed to twist the arms and convince the members of Broken Sword to join me on this little excursion, so we're glad to have them with us, but truly had some fun times, and we'll continue to have some fun times with the Broken Sword crew when the hiatus is over and we return to that story.
That was very subtle shade, sir, I just wanted to say.
I see no shade. I see only truth. I see only truth.
There was shade.
Okay. Other than that, speaking of GM in the Great Barrier and his channel, if you're watching, that means you're collecting channel points, as again was mentioned in the intro. You can spend those to influence the narrative. It could be anything from as simple as reminding me to take care of myself. Really not that important, let's be honest. The point of the GM is to die for everyone else's benefit. But other things, which are much more important, such as creating complications for our players, adding threat to my pool.
That right there, that stuff is not important. You could leave it.
Or, I mean, if you're trying to make this boring, you could give the players momentum, or perhaps provide them with an advantage. I believe one of our highest tiers is even you can write a line that I will have to weave into an NPC's dialogue. That would be interesting. I don't think anybody's done that one yet. But if you're listening and want to do such a thing, keep on collecting those channel points. We would also like to thank some friends of the stream. We have Joe, the OverlandGamer. He joined us during the adventures of the IKS Jan and the Broken Sword. He was unable to join us as we transferred over to the year 2355 for this campaign. But I know that when he's able to, he's watching and supporting the stream. So please feel free to watch and support his channel and his stream. We also have another streamer here. We have Caligo. Caligo, you had your birthday stream recently. Unfortunately, I was unable to make it to that. I had some other obligations. How did the mead making go?
The mead making was the best part of that stream. Everything else went pretty bad.
Oh dear.
Like right after I made the mead, a storm blew through and knocked down one of my neighbor's trees and took out my electricity.
Oh.
During the stream.
Oh Lord.
Oh no. Well, that is unfortunate.
But the mead is
Or at least the
fermenting
mead
well.
worked.
It's fermenting in the bathroom. It's doing well.
Very good.
Ooh,
Bathroom
God,
mead is
that's a
one of the
bad
top 10
place for
types
it.
of mead.
That's a horrible place. Man.
What else are you doing? What do you plan? Have anything upcoming that's exciting or interesting?
Nothing big at the moment. Just gaming.
Excellent. Please feel free to check out his channel as well. Support him. Watch him lose power again. Maybe. Who knows?
That's entertainment.
It is.
It counts. It counts.
All right. So, with all of our announcements and information out of the way, let us jump back in to the story where we find it right now. The USS Vulcan's Forge managed to make it successfully to Starbase 211 after a slight detour into some rather unexpected events.
Hijinks.
Hijinks, yes, that's a very good way to describe it.
Shenaniganry. That's another good one.
While at Starbase 211, they convened with the Admiral manning the station, who gave them the situational debrief that things are, well, much more dire than the core systems of the Federation may like to believe. In addition, they learned perhaps a little more information about the mysterious Amanda, incorporeal otherworldly entity who visited them long ago. Well, it seems like it was months ago. And enlisted them into what could best be described as an interdimensional scuffle. The crew also met our tactical officer met the Klingon military contact, who offered to provide some clandestine services to perhaps aid in the effective utilization of the small task force that the Vulcan's Forge has been placed in the head of. Now, with most matters taken care of, and some questions answered, some questions raised, the Vulcan's Forge departed to the Quatal Prime system, a planet that, according to reports, has an illegal Cardassian settlement stationed that has been set up on it. As they were on their way, the crew encountered an unknown electrogravitic wake, something which has been playing havoc with the ships in these sectors. While it did not damage the vessel, it did raise a new wrinkle in the ongoing scenarios which the crew of the Vulcan's Forge must try to sort out to discover a way to circumnavigate perhaps these unexpected and seemingly random events. And I think that's actually where we're going to start. So,
I'm not sure I like how you emphasized seemingly random.
everything is seemingly random until it's not.
You're not helping.
All right, sorry, I just let Cheesy know to let us know when he's back available again. He is taking care of some stuff. We're going to move to the science lab. You, Lieutenant Kirikit, you and Lieutenant Shamar were instructed to work together to try to see if there was a way to overcome these electrogravitic wakes, to perhaps modify the ship's engines or deflector grid or something to help to do that. With that being the case, what we're going to do is we are setting an extended task to basically chip away at the mystery of these electrogravitic wakes and how to upgrade the ship perhaps to avoid them, detect them, or just not be affected by them.
Right.
The way that this is going to work is, let me actually move this down because right now it's not in camera. Oh, it is. Okay, it is in camera frame now. Perfect. Once per episode, at the beginning of the episode, we will do a roll to work through this. It's a rather difficult task. It's designed to be that. However, each time that the Vulcan's Forge encounters the wake, it will also progressively become easier.
Okay.
As the sensors are able to gather more information passively and give them more data to work off of.
Okay.
So, right now, the extended task is as follows. It has a magnitude of 5. So you must complete 5 breakthroughs to complete this task. And a base difficulty, also of 5.
Oy, yeah, okay.
It has a work track of 20, so think of that as the extended task's hit points, if you will. And it has a resistance of 4.
Oh. We are never going to solve this one. Okay.
It's designed to take a while. This is a ticking clock kind of scenario. So with that being said, let's go ahead and do our first roll, which would be Kirikit. You can go ahead and take the lead on this. This would be your reason and science, I would imagine. Shamar is going to assist. He is going to be using his insight and engineering. And then the ship will also assist using computers and science. Or computers and engineering, your choice.
Oh, computers and let me take a look at the ship real quick. Focus. Computers and science, or what was the other one?
Computers and engineering.
It's the same roll for either of them. Still comes up to an 11. Either
All right,
way.
I wasn't sure.
Yeah. I don't think any of the ship talents affect that.
No, I don't think there's anything about scientific advantages.
Yeah, no, we sent it over combat. Well, I wanted way more combat. All right, so what kind of?
Definitely one of your focuses applies for sure.
Yeah, one of mine.
Yeah.
Um,
Shamar does not have a focus that applies just yet.
have we no momentum?
It's the start of a new episode, friends.
Wow. Okay. All right. So Kirkit is going to tick away at the little buttons really, really fast. Astrophysics as a focus would count.
Absolutely.
Second here, I'm trying to look something up myself. I'm not trying to look up something. You know what I'm trying. Okay, if this works, we get a bonus momentum because I'm the damn science officer.
Correct.
I was just double checking that. So here we go. Oh,
Okay, that's a promising start. 3 successes.
yeah.
4 successes, and roll for the ship. We might actually get our first bit of work
Nope.
through this. Nope.
Nope. Nope.
The ship suffers a complication. So-
no momentum to buy that up.
So, crew of the USS Vulcan's Forge,
Stop laughing. Sorry.
there is no momentum. However, you can either give me 2 threat to ignore the momentum, or to ignore the complication, or you can take a narrative complication.
Narrative that bitch.
Have some more threat. It's my role, not your role.
God damn it.
Okay. The GM will gladly take 2 more.
I see no logic in taking a complication when it can be avoided now.
All right.
That's a problem for future us.
As you are
And if nobody comes back in time to stop me, it can't be that bad of an idea.
exactly.
I just got off the phone with future you, and he is so sick of your shit.
That's funny.
That was great. That was great. Lieutenant Kirikit, you are analyzing the data that is being fed to you through the sensor grid that Shamar is kind of feeding you from main engineering.
I also assume there's like other crewmen, other
of course.
parts of the science team mucking about here, working
Of course.
on this with us. Okay.
And eventually, as you're trying to work through this, you and Shamar both come to the same conclusion. It's almost, from what you can tell from the data that has been collected, whatever this wake is, it makes the sensors not want to focus on it.
Could you explain that somehow?
Yes. Do you know what an astigmatism is?
I happen to have one, yes.
Okay, perfect. It's giving the sensors an astigmatism.
So some part of the sensor apparatus is interacting with the graviton wave phenomenon to disrupt the sensor systems?
Yes.
Well, part of the whole task is going to be to refocus to find out and refocus the sensors to give it a workaround.
Yep.
We're going to need to pull a Hubble. We're going to need to give the sensors glasses.
Exactly. That's what.
For those of you out there who don't remember, that's what we had to do to the Hubble telescope. We had to give it glasses so it would work.
That's what you kind of discover from this first analysis. You have the data, you have some data, but first off, it came and went so suddenly. And secondly, because of whatever destructive interference that's happening here, you're going to have to start tweaking the sensors to focus on the data that you're going to be getting for the next time that you encounter it.
Okay, is there a way to do this as a simulation rather than, oh, I don't know, taking all of the sensors offline to play with them?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
You can start running simulations.
Okay, good.
All right. That was so close, though.
Oh God,
that was so close.
I don't, it's the ship let us down. It always seems to do that.
Ships, am I right? Pieces of ships. Okay. So, about a day passes, another day, and eventually the Vulcan's Forge finally makes it to the Quatal system. Let me transfer over. As it drops out of warp to the Quatal system, Captain Blackburn, what are your orders?
Let's send, a probe towards where the suspected colony is. See if there's any satellites or ships in orbit that might surprise us.
That would be Quatal Prime, right there. Yep.
But wouldn't our sensors work better than a probe, even at this range? I mean, we can pick up things light years away. I'm just curious. I'll shut up. I'm sorry, I'm not the captain.
All right. Maybe I just really like probes. Come on.
I mean, you are an alien vessel. Of course you like probing things.
Exactly. All right. We'll do the scanners. We'll do scanners first. Just a general scan.
I mean, unless you had a tactical reason for using a probe rather than ship sensors.
Nah. They'll just
okay. All right. Is that a me roll?
That it would be another Kirikit roll, yes. That would be reason and science.
Okay. So
assisted by
He's on the bridge, gotcha.
Yeah, he would be. Yeah, we've had a day pass. He's back on the bridge. Reason and science assisted by the ship's sensors and science. Difficulty 0.
Yay.
This is a nice momentum generator.
Theoretically.
Okay, 1 momentum. And then the ship.
Yeah. Pulling the ship up.
Come on,
ship. Close that. All right, computers and science, yes?
Sensors and science.
Sensors and science. Yay, okay.
Predictable. 1.
Yeah.
1.
It's still a success.
Yes, it is. So from that, who did we lose? Oh, we just lost Dyood for a second. She's back. Yay! Okay. General scan of the system gives you the following information. You have Class D planet. The Quatal system is orbiting a Class A star. The closest planet is a Class D planet. And then Quatal Prime is a Class L planet with 4 orbiting moons. Being a difficulty 0 task, that was a success. You gain 1 point of momentum for succeeding.
2.
So, well, you get an additional point.
Yeah.
But, so yeah, a total of 2 momentum, 1 of which can only be used to gather
questions.
information.
Yeah.
So just like last time we entered a system, each point of momentum can be used to essentially do a more detailed scan of one of these particular stellar phenomena.
I don't have my books handy. The different planetary classes. Could you please refresh my memory?
Yes. Class D planet is D for deadly.
Okay, just a crappy place.
Demon worlds, I believe, are Class D.
That's Class Y.
That's Class Y. Okay, no. Class D are arid, dry, hot, nasty planets.
Okay, but still capable of supporting life?
Theoretically, if they have an atmosphere. Many of them do not have atmospheres. Class L planets are, they usually have vegetation, water, tend to be higher in carbon dioxide levels, and carbon dioxide, nitrogen, oxygen, or carbon dioxide, argon, oxygen. Think the planet that Odo and Quark were stranded on in DS9. You can live there, but it's not necessarily going to be comfortable unless you make it comfortable.
Or a long-lasting visit.
Yes.
There will be complications. Okay. So all we have is the Class D and the Class L, huh?
Yep.
Okay.
2 planets in the system.
Here we go. Here's the first question. What do our sensors tell us about those 4 moons? Or is that too broad of a question?
Nope. As you're scanning, you move your sensors in to scan the moons, and they have dense metallic cores. They appear to be more than likely large metallic stellar bodies that were caught in orbit of the Class L world. You get the impression that they are likely from the sorts of metals that they are, relatively high in value for shipbuilding or construction purposes.
Yeah, metal-rich asteroids worth quite a lot because you don't have to dig them out of the ground. The only problem is it's an asteroid.
Exactly.
Okay. So no atmospheres on these, just
no.
But
no, none of them can support life. No life signs detected at all.
Enough atmosphere that they are round.
Yes.
I mean, not atmosphere. Enough gravity.
Gravity. Yes.
Wow, that was bad word choice. Okay, I only get one more question, which is my freebie. Any particle traces that would represent impulse drive trails?
Good question. As you are broadening your sensor scan, you do detect faint traces, probably several weeks old, of Cardassian vessels. 2 Cardassian vessels.
Particle traces consistent with Cardassian
drive
systems.
Yes, okay. Consistent with Cardassian drives.
But no signs of actual ships.
No ships.
Right.
As you are scanning, and trying to find these particle drives, you do also note something from the star.
Magnetic reconnection?
Yes. Magnetic reconnection is the process by which a coronal burst or strong solar flare is produced from.
Oh, okay. So the star is dyspeptic and getting ready for a coronal mass ejection.
When magnetic reconnection reaches 5, the star will have a relatively large coronal mass ejection.
Okay. I would need to make another roll. Well, first thing I got to do is tell the captain what I've discovered so far.
Mm-hmm.
Captain, I've found 2 planets. One is Class D, one is Class L. The Class L planet has 4 moons, which appear to be captured asteroidal objects, high in density for metallic ores, and the star has gas. I believe that is the proper way to make a joke, is it not?
It has gas.
The electromagnetic field of the star is in a high state of flux, and the probability of a coronal mass ejection is very, very high. Giant ball of plasma ejected from the star, sir.
I see.
I cannot yet determine the direction. However, we should have several days. Should it even launch in our direction, we should have several days before it could even come close to us.
Well, let's hope the colony doesn't have to worry about it.
There is no indication of a colony. However, the star's electromagnetic field is interfering with our sensor scans to a small degree.
I see.
I have also detected... Did you say 2-week-old?
2-week-old.
I have also detected 2-week-old traces of Cardassian impulse drives having been used within the system. It appears that it was 2 ships.
I see.
At least I have 2 separate signatures.
Maybe it was 1 ship with 2 really big engines really far apart.
Going in different directions? Right.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
You never know. I mean, stranger things have happened in Star Trek.
Well, that stands to reason, doesn't it?
Salamanders. Am I right, guys?
Am I right?
We're not talking about the space salamanders.
My abandoned hyper-evolved children.
Never talk about those again. Dumbest episode they ever made.
Anyway. If it's interfering with our stands and there doesn't appear to be any direct danger, let's pull into orbit of the Class L.
All right.
See what we can find of the colony.
As the Vulcan's Forge nears the Class L planet, you are free to do another reason and science roll directed at the planet. Again, assisted by the ship's sensors and science.
Work this time. We don't have to pull out a telescope.
All right, 2 successes.
That's for me.
And the ship? Will the ship succeed?
It'll suck. Something.
The ship succeeded.
Ooh.
Wow.
I had to insult it first.
Yep. So, the difficulty of this was increased by 1 now due to the interfering radiation. So it was a 1 difficulty task. But with a total of 3 successes, that was overcome with 2 momentum from the roll, plus 1 momentum for the science officer's position.
Yep.
Who would like to be our designated momentum officer for the session?
I'll do it.
All right. There you go. All right. So, as you're scanning the planet, as you approach closer, you find that the combination of the star's radiation along with the moon's metallic cores does seem to have caused a bit of refraction on the ship's sensors, which is what made it a little bit more difficult than you expected to discover the fact that there is, in fact, a settlement to be found here.
And the four highly metallic moons whipping around the planet's around the planet's own electromagnetic field. We probably have some form of current flow which would have interfered as well. There we go.
Exactly. It's definitely been causing some slight issues with the sensors, which is now the second time that the ship's sensors have started to have some difficulties trying to scan something. Perhaps the Vulcan's forge should have been given better eyes, or at least gone to an optometrist.
Yeah, well, we got teeth.
That is true.
And
lots of teeny tiny teeth, too. A second set of teeth.
Yeah, we can spit real good.
It's not an incredibly advanced settlement. It does seem to be established here, though. Maybe you can pick up maybe 50 life signs or so.
All Cardassian?
All Cardassian. In addition, the planet is rich in ladarium deposits. Ladarium is a compound that's used in Cardassian warp drives.
As part of what, though?
I don't know. I just looked it up in Memory Alpha, and it just said it's used in Cardassian warp drives.
Okay, probably part of the probably part of the warp core.
Probably
to resist all of that heat and pressure.
Probably. And there's heavy silicon deposits on the planet as well.
Oh. Okay. Three questions.
Yes.
Yeah. Just
and feel free to talk it over with the crew as well.
Oh, it's interesting that we have a planet with an actual atmosphere around an A-type star.
Yeah, I mean, thank you, Star Trek, for giving me this information.
So about 50 Cardassians, yes?
Yeah.
I'm assuming those life signs are all on the surface?
As far as you can tell, on the surface, maybe a bit underground.
Okay.
I'm going to give that one to you for free.
No, you've said, all right. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Any ships on the ground? Shuttle or carriers, anything of the like?
Some civilian, maybe two civilian. Not what would those be? Not freighters, but two civilian shuttles. Maybe about the size of your roundabouts, designed to carry people.
What kind of machinery or power grid do they have established? You said it's small, about 50 people, but there's still maybe some large-scale machinery.
Yes.
And if the power systems they have are in great excess of what even a mining colony would need, that would be important as well.
You get what appears to be a refinery, but surprisingly little mining equipment to match up with it. There's definitely an ore refinery here.
Is it functioning?
Yes. But surprisingly little mining equipment. Like you searched for the power profiles of laser drilling systems and things like that, and you don't find any of those.
Okay.
So that's one question, right?
Yes, that was one question.
Okay.
My freebie is going to be directed towards the star.
Okay.
I want to see if I can forecast if and when there's going to be a CME and in what general direction. Even with a star, okay, it takes about a CME usually about 3 days to get from Sol to Earth if it's coming in our direction. Seeing as this is a dwarf star, I would assume that we would have approximately 1 day before any CME could reach us.
That sounds reasonable.
I just want to know if I can tell if one is imminent and in what direction the thing is going to fly. I'm looking for the highest peaks in the electromagnetic field. A whole bunch of extra sunspots in that general direction, that sort of stuff.
And wouldn't you know it? Thanks for those 2 threat earlier.
Yep, I figured that would come back and bite me in the butt. Actually, for him, it would be bite him in the thorax.
You have probably about, as it stands, maybe 5 days until it reaches magnetic reconnection 5. And wouldn't you know it, it would definitely be coming toward maybe in a, let me see, can I draw lines? Can everybody see that? Did that show up?
Yes.
Yeah.
In a thatwardly direction.
In a thatwardly direction. Okay. In 5 days, is that where the planet's going to be?
It's going to be pretty dang close.
By any strange stretch of the imagination?
It's going to be pretty dang close.
Okay. Of course. And one more question I have. Can I get an indication of the structures on the ground?
Define that.
All right, I'm just going to spell it out. Bajor is currently being held by the Cardassians. I'm looking to see if there are more buildings than it would take to hold 50 people.
I see.
Assuming that any Bajoran miners would be underground and thus undetectable because of the metallic content and all the other factors.
No.
Which would explain why there's not a lot of mining equipment, because they're just using people with pickaxes and shovels.
You do not detect additional housing for more than, well, maybe a little bit more. Maybe it looks like there's enough for, say, about a dozen or so more people, maybe, than a dozen to 2 dozen more people than what is currently being picked up.
Which, again, could be miners underground, or could be people who left on the shuttles. All right, I relay all of my findings to the captain. I don't necessarily relay my suspicions about potential Bajoran slaves, but I do tell him that, yeah.
Is Starfleet even aware of Bajor at this point?
Oh, hell yeah.
The occupation? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
I wasn't sure.
I mean, no. Bajor has been a civilization. According to Picard, Bajor was a powerful civilization when humans were running around with the jawbones of asses.
Yes.
So they've been around a very long time. Starfleet is very much, and the Federation are very much aware of them and the occupation. Although it's still about halftime, I think, on the occupation.
Yeah, in 2 more years, the Shakar resistance cell is about to destroy Galatep.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like the first major turning point in the occupation.
Yeah.
Odd. But besides the out of place material ratios, what is the population numbers we're looking at?
My scans currently indicate about 50 individuals on the planet, but there are structures and housing available for perhaps another dozen beyond that mark, sir.
All right. So we got here relatively early, I suppose.
And in about 5 days, the star will have a coronal mass ejection. And I put it up on the screen. And the planet itself will be close to that point upon the eruption.
Well, we better hail them and let them know
Sir?
of the coming danger. Well, we need to convince them to leave one way or another.
What?
All right. So you open hailing frequencies, Captain? You order that hailing frequencies are opened?
Yeah. I don't see why not. We shouldn't hail the colony unless you have something to add.
Sakal is like, do you really wish to announce our presence so soon, sir? We have 5 days.
Do you wish to launch a ground investigation before we speak with the colony? Or a more
We are not 100% sure of the tactical situation, Captain.
That is true.
We do not know if any Cardassian ships will be returning here anytime soon. If they have only 2 small shuttles, they may not be enough to carry their entire complement, and I sincerely doubt they would welcome our assistance.
That is true. Well then. Would you like to assemble an away team for reconnaissance?
Reconnaissance and force, sir?
Your discretion.
The eyebrow goes up. And inside he's thinking, oh, goody, goody.
Let the security officer do the security things.
Yes, but you've also given him almost carte blanche to take care of some Cardassians.
Well, I'm not aware of any personal grudges you have against Cardassians at the moment.
No, nobody is. All right, yes, sir. As you say, I'll assemble a security team now. Push the button for the security team, and for the person to replace me at the tactical console, and I will head on down to. I would actually prefer to take a shuttle to the surface, Mr. GM.
Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm doing a roll right now.
Understood.
Reason science, I saw that pop up.
We're not supposed to.
You're not the only person who can scan. Oh, dang it. Ah, that's not supposed to be 2 dice. No, the curse of the ship, it's happening.
It goes both ways.
Careful.
Okay, that's better. Commander Sakal, as you're preparing to step away. You are being hailed.
Captain, we are being hailed. From the surface, I'm assuming?
Yep.
We are receiving a hail from the surface, sir.
On screen.
Beep.
Unidentified Starfleet vessel. I'm Administrator Kasep, Cardassian liaison to the Quatal Prime colony. What can I do for you? Your presence is unexpected.
Administrator, I am Captain Blackburn. I've been sent to investigate the possibility of an illegal colony within Federation space.
Illegal colony, you say? Well, I'm thankful that you would not levy such charges against us. I can assure you we are here quite legally.
Legally according to who?
Legally according to... What was his name? That old fellow. Curzon Dax, I believe his name was.
Curzon Dax. Would that name be familiar to me, GM?
Captain Blackburn, everyone knows the name Curzon Dax.
Yeah, but I thought he was dealing with Klingons.
You would know that Curzon Dax is a legendary troublemaker. I mean, ambassador to the Federation. Most notable for his love of three things: making peace, making love, and Klingons.
That's 3 things, sir.
I did say I changed it to 3. I might have cut out.
Captain,
possibly not in that order.
Captain, as far as I know, Ambassador Dax has no power to bestow territories as an ambassador.
This is rather troubling to hear that Dax would tell you this without notifying Starfleet.
Or the Federation, sir.
Do
you have any records of this communication with Curzon?
Well, we don't, but the owners of the colony do. Perhaps you would like to come down and discuss it with them directly.
A peaceful negotiation would be preferable to anything.
Captain Blackburn...
That was less than vaguely threatening there, Captain.
Yeah. Roll me an intimidation check on that one. What would that be? Presence in command, I think?
Yeah, I feel like presence in command.
And that will be contested by her reason in command.
All right.
Do you have a focus that would apply?
Well, I have debate. Also, cultural. I can also like to argue cultural expert because I know that the Cardassians do have a history of being very cunning. They're not exactly forward.
Okay, I'll allow that one.
Can I nab a momentum just to make sure?
Unfortunately, all of that momentum has been spent.
Oh, I thought we still had some because of the name. All right, no, right, let's do. I still see the tokens. Damn, you roll 20. All right, I'll roll and refresh. Oh.
Sorry, give me 1 second. I'm taking care of the...
Oh, no.
Controls are not functioning as they should.
Yeah,
Well,
not quite.
let me
but I can take care of it.
Okay, now it's updating. I see.
All right, and that's contested by the administrator's reason in command. And as a Cardassian, Administrator Cassette has the talent. Administrator Cassette has two things. First off, she has the role of administrator, which says that once per session, she may create a free advantage, which represents a favor owed through a connection, which is what she just did. Secondly, as a Cardassian, she is suspicious by nature. When attempting to detect danger, she may reroll a d20.
I see.
But she will elect not to reroll that d20.
Ah. So does that backup plans apply to this? Can we get that momentum?
Yes, you do. Backup plans does absolutely apply.
Oh, yes, it does.
Yes, but since you both have it, only one of them applies. It does not stack.
Okay.
Well, that's still one.
That's still good. Yeah. Momentum is momentum. Now, Caligo. That complication.
Yeah.
How would you like to handle that?
I'll take narrative.
Okay.
I'd like to pretend it didn't exist.
I'm sure you would, my friend. I am sure you would. Captain Blackburn, you give a not so subtle threat.
Maybe I feel a bit more stern than intended.
She blinks, and you see her relax as she just kind of blinks a couple times. Well, I suppose you must be as out of your element as some of the others that have tried to weasel in on our little colony. If your first negotiation is toward threats of violence, I can assure you that we are regularly monitored by Cardassian Union vessels. They should be here in a few days. So, Captain, I too would very much like to avoid having to deal with anything by threats of violence.
Understood, Administrator.
Thankfully, I am not in the business of war. I'm in the business of, well, managing this place. So, I will leave that up to the soldiers aboard those vessels when they arrive, should the need come to it. But I'm sure it won't. Please, come and visit us. We will be delighted to welcome you to our colony. And then you can talk it over with the leaders of the colony. Administrator Cassette graciously out.
I would assume, Captain, you would like a full security detail to accompany you?
I think that might give us a bad image.
That, sir, has already been established.
Indeed.
And might I order you a new pair of boots? You seem to be missing one. Did it taste good?
Was that a joke?
I do believe so.
All right, then. Let's see.
In other words, he's asking you how did your boot taste as you stuck your foot in your mouth.
Yeah. All right, let's get a meeting arranged. I still wish for you to do reconnaissance, Lieutenant Commander.
Clandestine reconnaissance at this point, sir?
Definitely. She seemed a bit too calm.
She may not have been lying concerning surveillance and or monitoring by Cardassian warships.
True. But that doesn't exactly get rid of the issue with the star now, does it?
No, it does not, sir. Will the coronal mass ejection, Mr. GM, be large enough or powerful enough, theoretically, to harm our ship?
It would do a number on your sensor systems, but probably not harm your ship.
What about the surface of the planet? Would it be sufficient to get past any electromagnetic field of the planet itself and cause radiation damage to the surface?
To the surface, yes.
Okay. If all else fails, Captain, we can simply keep the information concerning the CME to ourselves. We are under no obligation to share such information with the Cardassians.
That would lead to most bogus results, Captain.
Did you just say bogus?
Yes. Most uncouth. I do not agree with Lieutenant Commander's Sakal's implication.
It would not We may not be obligated to tell them, but it is best if we do. If they decide not to leave, well, that was their decision. Well, let's get a better idea of what's going on first.
All right. So
And
who is
I
going to
will-
be a part of this away mission? Let me just get that first.
Well, technically, we have 2 away missions, don't we?
Correct.
So the captain will have his security team,
Mm-hmm.
and me and another security team are going to take a look around all sneaky-like.
Yep.
And I still would like to do the sneaky part by going down in
absolutely.
a shuttle.
Okay. So, Captain, who are you taking with you? You taking anybody else other than generic red shirt number 8736?
Well, he's going to take at least 4 red shirts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm open to volunteers.
Anybody volunteer to join?
Anyone wants to come down?
I do have a security of 4.
Lieutenant Baxtra, you want to go?
I'm down. Somebody's got to protect the captain.
I will join Sakal, as I do not trust him.
Damn.
Okay, so who does that put as... Hold up.
So we're taking the entire... We're pulling a Kirk. We're pulling the
Yep.
entire command staff on there.
We're pulling the
Okey-dokey.
Kirk, guys.
Okey-dokey.
This is going to be so great. This will leave the secondary characters, the supporting characters, in charge of the ship. This is going to be so great, guys.
We have a pirate. It will be fine.
This is actually going to be amazing.
Oh, God.
Okay.
We are doomed. Sorry.
Of course.
Sorry.
And Sakal, will you be flying down the shuttle yourself? Will you be piloting the shuttle? Or will you be having someone else pilot it for you? Because technically, I think you do have the con to do it.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell the ship to do it all on its own.
Well, yeah.
But no, I'll bring one of the flight crew to fly the shuttle, because because I want the captain's shuttle to. I want both of us to go down in shuttles. We will launch simultaneously, and then at one point we will just go in 2 different directions. They'll think it's a sensor glitch, because the other one will disappear quite quickly as we push further down to the on the far side of the horizon.
I like that.
So do I.
All right. Does anybody have any last-minute preparations that they want to do?
Standard medical kit.
Yep. You get that for free as the medical officer. Type 2 phasers, also for free.
Okay.
Sakal, are you bringing rifles?
We don't have the momentum to pay for that.
You have 1 point of momentum from failing that roll. Remember?
Oh, yes. Then yes.
Okay.
Yes, we are. We are bringing Type 3 phase rifles.
All right. Let me just check and see. Also,
rifles.
yes. Let me see, because it also has an escalation cost. I think it's an escalation cost of 1, so that does grant me a threat as well.
I thought you paid one or the other. Or is it?
Let me check that real quick before I say. Actually, you know what? This is the perfect point to take a quick bio break before we transition to the planet, and will also let me look up that. So why don't we do that?
I will.
All right, we are back. Audio is back live. Thank you for your patience.
Being back dead.
The bio break was calling my soul and also my bladder. So we're back. Okay.
TMI from the GM.
Exactly. Before we head down to the surface, Cheesy, would you be down for a quick scene?
I think I'd be pretty down, pretty kosher, and down with the people.
Okay.
It's got to be a fun scene, though.
It will be.
I don't like how you said that.
Lieutenant Baxtra, you are prepping your kit. You've been notified by the captain that oh my god, words are failing me. That you've been requested to join him on this away mission. So you're prepping all your medical gear. You're speaking with the head nurse and making sure that they have all the appropriate information of whatever current minor injuries and stuff you're dealing with right now. And you get a communication alert on an encrypted channel.
I take it to my office and close the door.
It says the transferring, please stand by, audio only. And the wizened, familiar voice of a dear friend, Admiral Uhura, comes through, a little garbled, a little staticky. Lieutenant Baxtra! Lieutenant Baxtra, do you read?
I do. You're coming in a bit gargled, though.
Well, we are rather far, and where you're at, I'm sure there's something that is blocking the signal slightly. Thank you for your report that you sent regarding the incidents.
Are those incidents a problem?
I just wanted you to be aware that, well, keep your eyes open, Lieutenant.
Disguise.
I will.
Good. We're sifting through our analysis and data, but I believe that someone within my own ranks leaked that information to the hegemony.
Not good, is it?
It's concerning. You see, some amongst us, myself included, some of us are old enough to remember when we first encountered that certain type of Gorn. And have devoted some effort and time to keep an eye out for if they were to rise up again, show their face. We had been monitoring the system for a while, and we're planning to use it as a gesture of goodwill to the hegemony. Somebody went and undermined that. And while I don't know why, I have my theories.
And this is on your side. There's no way it could be anybody on this ship, correct?
Well, I should certainly hope not. As far as I know, you're my only piece on play aboard the Vulcan's Forge.
Is this going to jeopardize the safety of the Gorn scientist? Doctor?
I don't know. The hegemony tolerates few things and punishes few things as harshly as failure. But technically, she did not fail.
A lot of things are happening, Captain. Or Admiral. Both on and off the field. I will say, Admiral, that there are some things that I cannot tell you. But there's some back of the scene things happening in this war. I don't know what they are, but there's something happening.
Well, Lieutenant, if there's anybody that I trust to see beyond what the rest of us might observe, it would be you. You do have those gifts.
I'll keep you posted. At this moment, we're at a Cardassian colony on the, what was the planet again out of game? Sorry.
Quatal Prime, the Quatal system.
Currently in the Quatal system of Quatal Prime. So that's where I'm going to be for the next probably day or two. So if you need anything, just send it to the terminal on my ship and I'll try and get to it when I can.
Understood. I'll give you a little background information. I'll send you some background information on dealings we've had with the hegemony recently, and perhaps when you have the time, you can sort through them, see what you can make of it. See if there's anything that I might be missing. I can only give you so much, of course, but what you're cleared to know, I can provide.
With your permission, could I bring one person in to analyze this with me?
It depends. I'll need a name.
A security officer, Vulcan by the name of Sokol.
Skull. There's a few moments of silence.
If this really is her, she would have heard of me, I am sure.
Yep. Do you trust him?
Well, he's a Vulcan. So,
Lieutenant Baxtra, I have known many Vulcans in my lifetime.
Some universes very well.
But I have trusted very few of them.
We don't get along, but I trust him.
Well, if you trust him, and you trust him not to poke and prod too much, then I leave that in your discretion, Lieutenant.
Understood.
Keep that head on a swivel.
Yes, ma'am.
And the line goes dead.
Fucking Smeg. He rubs his eyes and gets his stuff together.
All right. We are going to transfer over briefly to the Theater of the Mind of Dewey.
Do you know Dewey?
20 whatever called. They want their memes back. I guess it would help if I actually transferred everybody there. Thank you. Okay. So, 2 shuttles are going down. I'm actually going to swap. There we go.
Successful.
2 shuttles are going down. And they are going to be performing a maneuver. So what we're going to do, we're going to do a roll. And basically that's going to set the difficulty to determine if there was a second shuttle. Base difficulty is 0. So basically the more successes you get, the harder it will be for their sensors to have picked up that there were 2 shuttles.
Okay. I got 2 members of the flight crew, so these are guys who know how to make a shuttle fly properly.
Yep. So thanks to the efforts of our lieutenant commander in an earlier episode, you have gained a superior flight crew. So they are, instead of proficient crew with an attribute of 9 and a discipline of 2, they are talented crew with an attribute of 10 and a discipline of 3.
God damn.
So with that being said, this is going to be, I'm going to let you all decide who you want to take the lead on this and how, and then others can assist if it makes narrative sense.
Not sure exactly what you mean by take the lead. So.
Who's going to be rolling the 2 dice and who's going to be rolling the 1 dice?
For the pilots, you mean?
For the whole operation. The whole shenaniganery.
The whole landing?
Shenaniganery.
So, for example, perhaps Captain Blackburn gives the primary direction and orders for when to pull the maneuver. So that would be, say, control and command, and he would take the lead, and then other people could assist. Or it's Lieutenant Commander Sokol's perfect simulation data that he's fed in. So that would be his reason and security as taking the lead, or so on and so forth. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So which of our 4 players would like to take the lead in this role?
I don't mind taking the lead because with reason and security, I got a 15.
Any disagreements with that?
With control and command, I have a 16.
Ooh.
Question is just figuring out which focus would apply.
Yeah.
Composure of knowing the timing.
I have sensor operations because we're trying to confuse their sensors.
Yep, I'd allow that as well.
But you've got the better number by 1.
Yes. By 1, which can that's a 5% difference.
That's
right.
Still a big difference. So I will assist then.
All right.
All right, and let me pull out. Oh yeah, that's right. I have a look at this. It's so cute. It's a shuttle.
It's a shuttle.
Oh God.
It's so cute.
So do you have one that's on fire? We're gonna need it.
Thankfully, no.
We're not gonna need that. No, don't say things.
Isn't it adorable?
It's so cute. Yes.
Adorable.
Really
Okay.
might and adorable.
Sits on my desk.
All right. So go ahead and roll your control and command, Captain. Your focus of composure, I'll allow that to apply.
Okay.
All right. So that's 3 successes. Who else would like to assist? Lieutenant Commander Sokol, you'd like to assist?
Yes.
Using what?
Reason and security.
Reason and security. All right. 1 die. Well, your focus and sensor operations would apply.
Yes, it would. Captain's got to roll first.
He did.
Oh,
He
we
rolled
did.
3
Sorry.
successes.
Okay, let's hope I don't screw it up. I did not.
All right. 4 successes. Would anybody else like to assist? And if so, how?
Thought only one person could assist at a time.
No, that is not according to rules.
Ah.
If you can narratively explain what you're doing to assist, you can assist.
Oh shit. Okay, I can't do that. All right, never mind.
Can the shuttle pilots assist?
Yes, the shuttle pilots will be assisting, as will the shuttle itself.
Okay.
I have a good con.
Huh?
But you're not flying.
No, but he can help
Yeah,
to
that's
relay
why I'm
data
like-
to the pilots.
We could.
You know.
Oh, that'll work. Yeah.
I'm gonna have you do daring and con.
Right. Surgical technique supplies, right?
Wrong kind of
Well,
surgical techniques.
Well, this is a pre-dawn vertical insertion.
No.
That was what the military called our invasion of
I have a
Grenada.
darts
by the way.
focus.
You have darts? No, that's not going to apply either.
Alright, here we go. Just one, right?
Yep.
Ooh.
All right. We're getting up there. That's 5 successes. Let's see what the shuttle crew can do. Doo-doo. Okay. And then the starship? Starship's really bad. That would be engines and con. Yeah, I didn't expect the shuttle to help any.
They didn't screw us though.
Nope.
As long as it didn't fail.
Okay, so with a total of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 successes, I'm going to let Captain Blackburn, you can decide how many of those successes go into the difficulty to detect it and how many go into your momentum pool.
Ooh. And we have 4, 5, 6, 7.
Mm-hmm.
5 into difficulty detection, 2 in the momentum.
All right.
I'm not getting caught off again, boss.
Sounds good. So Sean, you can draw 2 momentum.
Maybe.
I believe in you, Sean.
I did it.
This
Momentum
is to
has been
detect
drawn.
danger. So she can reroll one of those d20s. Okay. Yeah, there's no way she can succeed. Okay. You pull off the maneuver flawlessly. Even aboard the ship, the shuttle sensor, it's hard to detect. If it wasn't for the fact that you knew that the other shuttle was there, you would not have even known what happened.
Cool.
As the two of you part ways and start heading in separate areas. Lieutenant Commander, where exactly are you headed to at the colony?
Well, again, we're gonna have to land a distance and
Yes,
maneuver our way in.
correct.
Tricorders a blaring.
Mhm.
We're gonna sound like a flock of insects. But yeah, I think I want to check out. I don't know how many places we're going to be able to check out. But but I want to check out the whatever mining equipment there is in this order: mining equipment, barracks, and power systems.
All right, sounds good. We will probably get to your activities next session.
I understand, and that's quite all right.
I just wanted to get an idea of what you were planning so that I can work accordingly.
Yowzaballs.
All right, here's a max yield protonic charge. Have fun.
Captain, I do not understand. What is a thermal detonator?
All right. It doesn't look like it's switched over on our stream, but can you all see the colony?
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you, Star Trek Enterprise, for your backdrops. Okay, there we go. Now it's switched over. Perfect. So Captain and Baxtra. Just gonna drop you all in. All right.
Somebody's eating something crunchy.
It's the dice. I'm eating the dice. Sorry, my bad.
I got a piece of ice stuck in my mouth.
You two land. There's a small kind of makeshift shuttle landing pad. The nicer ones that seem to have been purpose built are the ones that have the civilian shuttles on them right now. But there seems to be a third one there, and you're given directions to land there. You touch down, and are greeted by you must be you're the Starfleet officers, correct? Welcome to our facility. I hope your trip to our surface was uneventful.
It was smooth.
Good. We don't get a lot of visitors to and from our facility here. Not ones that like yourselves, of course. Please, come. The administrator is waiting for you.
Does this man seem very nervous?
Go ahead and roll me a insight and security roll.
All right.
Can I do the same? I was just about to ask that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this guy seems like he's fucking.
And this will be against his present. Oh God, his presence in command is sucky. Okay. So he succeeds with a complication. Players, how would you like me to deal with that complication? Would you like me to spend 2 threat to remove it? Would you like to give you 2 points of momentum? Or would you like me to create a narrative complication for this poor soul?
Narrative might be more helpful. What do you think, Baxtra, since you helped?
That one more time. I'm so sorry. Oh, the negative complication?
Yes. Would you like me to spend 2 points of threat to ignore it? Would you like me to give you 2 points of momentum? Or would you like me to create a narrative complication?
Man, Captain, we're low on momentum right now.
We could use the momentum.
All right. Take 2 points of momentum. That brings you up to 4 momentum. It's a pretty solid amount to be playing with. And you both succeeded because you were if you will, the aggressor on the roll, whereas he was the defender. So if you meet the roll and you are the aggressor, you do succeed. He seems less nervous, more excited. Imagine the guy whose job it is to sit and stare at the button all day, and who finally gets to push the button.
I see.
That's not a good thing.
It was all
Tell me.
the entire colony's a trap.
Tell me, how long have you been in the area? Oh no, you probably can't tell me that. That's probably classified. Sorry, like I said, we just get so few visitors. It's nice to have some new people here. People that aren't trying to, make our lives more difficult.
Oh?
You're not here to make our lives more difficult, are you?
Has someone been trying to?
I mean, I should probably just take you to the administrator.
If there's been pirates in the area, you can tell us.
No, not pirates, just that the contract negotiator. Like I said, the administrator will be able to explain it better. And of course, yes, we should talk to the administrator.
Colony owners running you ragged?
Oh no, the colony owners are actually quite wonderful. And I think the administrator summoned them. One of them should be arriving to meet you as well.
I see.
As the three of you head in farther, you get to what essentially kind of looks like an open meeting area, pseudo town square kind of location. And there you see Administrator Cassette and another colonist are speaking with each other. As you look at the kind of town square sort of section, you notice it's a large square, obviously, structure, and then mostly wood and perhaps some stone foundation and some metal decoration, some filigree. But in the center, where there would
standard Cardassian architectural style.
Yes, very very standard Cardassian. But in the center, where there would normally be the ostentatious, elevated platform for whoever is the leader of the Cardassian colony or whatever kind of facility it is, there's instead a hole, just a hole, right in the center.
A hole.
A hole cut into the center of this platform.
Okay. All right.
Cassette and the other colonists are in conversation. She catches sight of the maroons of Captain Blackburn and Lieutenant Baxtra. Turns toward you both, beckons forward toward the elevated platform. Captain. Sorry, my brain is failing me. Captain Blackburn, did you identify yourself, or did you just say you were here on behalf of Starfleet?
I did identify myself.
Okay. Captain Blackburn, I'm glad you made it safely. Please, I have asked that the colony owners join us. They should be on their way. Sometimes it takes them a little while. They can be very far off.
I see. Well, I will not rush them.
I'm glad that she looks. How many security officers do you have with you?
Just
Blackburn?
two.
2. She looks at the 2 security officers.
I would have.
I'm glad.
4.
Huh?
The other 2 are on the shuttle.
Okay.
They're hiding in the floorboards. I'm glad that you. And she looks towards the 2 security officers. Are they armed with phaser rifles?
Just Type 2s.
Okay. I'm glad that
They
you.
They have dustbusters on their hips.
Yeah. I'm glad that you came here without threat.
It was not my intention if I had implied that.
Of course not. Of course it wasn't, Captain. And you? I don't think I remember seeing you aboard on the bridge. As she is looking toward you, Baxtra.
No, pleasure. My name is Lieutenant Baxtra. I'm the Chief Medical Officer aboard the ship.
Chief Medical Officer. Wow. Is this standard Federation protocol? She looks toward the other colonist, and he just gives like the most dumbfounded shrug. Not really sure why she's asking him.
Well, I assume that our 2 security officers are here for protection, of course. And I'm here because you never know when you need a medical emergency. And if you had anybody who needed medical treatment, I would provide it for you.
Well, I do appreciate that. Actually, now that you mention it, Captain, if you are agreeable, we did have a bit of a mining accident about a couple weeks ago, and there are a couple colonists who could use a bit of a checkup, and unfortunately, we are a little low on trained medical personnel.
Batra, you can take in some Simmons with you. You can check it out.
I would love to. If one of your workers will show me the way.
Of course. After you've met with the colony owners first, of course. They're not in life-threatening condition or anything, don't worry. If they were, I would take you there immediately. Owners be damned.
And I would not stop Batra if he wanted to.
About that time, the 2 of you feel a faint rumble. Just enough, just a light vibration coming from the soles of your boots, coming from the ground.
Is that your equipment?
No, that is our colony owner, or one of them at least. And from the hole in the center,
The moment.
Okay, no.
Wait. That?
crawling out a rock as it comes crawling out of that hole. Ah! Haransis! I wasn't expecting to see you here. I heard that you were busy elsewhere. Haransis, this is Captain Blackburn and Lieutenant Baxtra of the Federation. Captain Blackburn, meet Haransis, one of the owners of this colony.
A pleasure to meet you.
It is a pleasure to meet you, Blackburn Captain.
It's got a vocoder on its back?
It does.
Ooh.
You do notice that the voice is coming from a little modulator device, while it's in itself, all you can almost just feel like that tickling in the back of your eardrums from a frequency that's just way too low. As it just kind of rumbles and vibrates. Blackburn Captain, Federation.
Yes.
Why are you here at Colony Horta?
Well, we've received some mixed information about your colony.
Information mixed. Mixed how?
Well, Starfleet Command is under the impression that this colony is under the ownership of the Cardassian Union.
This colony is Horta. Is it not, Administrator Cassep? Yes, it is absolutely a Horta colony. In fact, Francis was the one who invited us here.
With the aid of Mr. Dax.
When this colony was founded, Dax, Curzon, Trill joined, told us we were free to bring any carbon-based assistance we might need in the future, and we have required such assistance.
I see. These things are...
The administrator has the most shit-eating grin on her face right now.
It is so evident no die rolls were required.
Yep.
Now, this is certainly new information that I will need to validate, but I'm sure that won't be an issue.
Of course not. Blackburn Captain Federation. While you are here, you are welcome to enjoy whatever amenities the carbon-based life forms have created for their use. Welcome to our colony, Blackbird Captain Federation.
Thank you for the welcome.
We are pleased to make your acquaintance. I am sure that you and the administrator will find many similarities based off of your similar biological structures.
It's like I want to say something, but I have to hold it back.
What does Captain Blackburn want to say?
That actually sounded kind of speciesist.
Exactly. It's just like it's just sort of like it's just a sort of thought of, do we all look the same to you?
Oh, thank God it wasn't just me that went.
Do all rocks look the same to you?
Ugly bags of mostly water.
Now, if you will excuse me, Administrator Kassep, the Blackstone clan is proving somewhat difficult to deal with. We are attempting to ensure that all matters are concluded in a way that is mutually beneficial to both our parties, yours and mine. Captain Blackburn, Lieutenant Baxtra, you may both now roll an insight and command check.
All right.
Right.
What type of focuses are we looking at?
Let me look at your focuses. Cultural expert or linguistics?
I think I'll do cultural expert. I think that one fits well.
Okay. And Baxtra, autopsy. No, just kidding. None of yours apply.
Yeah, I figured.
8.
Hey.
All right. And it will be contested. And she can use a focus for this one. Yay. I'm going to spend a point of threat to buy a third die, excuse me.
Kind of rude.
Wow. So with her 3 dice, she rolled triple failures. An 18, a 17, and a 19. She had to roll a 12. Baxtra, I don't think you notice it. Why aren't you necessarily paying attention to the administrator herself that well?
I'm trying to see if his voice modulator's outdated.
Yeah, you're kind of just like looking at this thing, and it's maybe 2-3 decades old.
I'm gonna get him a new one before I leave.
Meanwhile, Captain Blackbird, there's nothing to really gauge on a Horta. There's no body language that you really know. But you've been around Cardassians a little bit already. You can gauge Cardassian body language a little bit better.
Indeed.
You notice that while the other colonists seem not to have any reaction, the administrator, her posture stiffens a little at the mention of the Blackstone clan. And her eyes kind of dart in the direction of you all. First in the direction of the Horta, then in the direction of you all, then back at the Horta. And you, Baxtra, notice right at the tail end that Administrator Kasep is definitely a little tense all of a sudden. Of course, Heronsis. Perhaps we can discuss this matter a little bit later. I know that the Blackstone clan has been a sore spot for us all, and we can hopefully find a way to address this.
Captain, do you think it would be possible for us to help out? I mean, we do have a bit of security forces, and I know you're really good with politics.
No. This is a internal affair, colony business, and the Horta looks, well, the Horta doesn't look, the Horta shuffles. The Blackstone clan is a danger to us all. You said that yourself, Administrator Kasep. Well, I mean, I may have said that there were potential complications to arise from them, but that we can handle that ourselves. Nonsense, Administrator. Did you not tell us that life forms of bipedal nature must work together to overcome problems? Is that not what Blackburn Captain Federation believes in as well?
Federation does believe in the cooperation of many species.
You see, it is all agreeable, then perhaps you could assist us, but I should speak with the other members of our guiding pillars before I make a decision. Baxtra has now gained the shit-eating grin. Kasep is now kind of looking around. Fine. If that is your decision, Francis, I may be able to work with this, but only once I have the approval of your others. Of course, Administrator, we would never want you to do something that would make you feel uncomfortable. You have been most agreeable with our needs and requests. It kind of shuffles again back toward both of you. Blackburn Captain Federation and guests, do you have any messages you would like me to take to the guiding pillars?
Well, we do have some information to share about your star that we can discuss later.
The star, I see. The star is far away, and we do not look up into those stars too often. I am sure you will find someone who will be more interested in such balls of gas.
I see. Till next time, then.
Very well. May you have an oxygen-filled day. And it shuffles back toward the hole. and makes its way back down.
Porta, huh?
So, you can see we are here quite legally and at the behest of the owners of this colony.
I see. Well, then I will just like some documentations of your agreements you've made. I've assumed you've kept some records.
Of course. I have them in my office if you'd care to join me.
I believe that will be agreeable.
Very good. Very good. As she starts heading away, she points to the other colonists with her. And if you could show the doctor to our patients, perhaps he could assist them.
Oh, yes, please. Lead on.
All right.
I look towards one of the Richards. Make sure to help out the doctor in Simmons.
Yes, sir. And he follows. Okay. Let me prep a couple things. Oh, God. That was the wind. The wind just closed my door. It's like, why did the door slam? Is there something in my room? But no, it was.
Was it a tree?
And let's throw in you. Why are you so small? That's what she said. Anyways. And throw in a couple of these guys. And let's see which one. All right. For our last two scenes, first we will start with Captain Blackburn and Administrator Cassette. Oh, the shuttle's still there. And not the shuttle. As they step into her office, Captain Blackburn with a security officer and Administrator Cassette with her aide. She walks over to her station, her computer station, starts tapping in a few buttons. Can I get you anything to eat or drink, Captain?
Water will be fine.
Very good. Water it is. If you could grab us some water. She gestures to the aide who steps out. And she pulls up a document, shows it to you. See, here's the details of our agreement. If you observe and look here, it is perfectly legal and in accords with the agreement set out between the Horta that own this colony, and your ambassador, Curzon Dex.
All right. He will take the document. Thank you, Administrator.
Reason in command?
Reason in command? All right.
To look over this.
can
Difficulty
I-
of this... Huh?
Can I say insight, maybe? Make sure this is, legit.
Okay, yeah. Insight and command. Difficulty of this is... let's say it's 2.
Can I apply, Starfleet protocols?
Starfleet protocols would apply,
All right.
as would linguistics.
Okay, good. Well, since we have a surplus of momentum, can I take one?
By all means.
All right.
I implore you, spend your momentum.
I mean, I have a good chance of getting an extra, so. Or not. 2.
All right. 2 successes. As you are observing this, the document seems the original agreement between Ambassador Dax and the Horta. The Federation, the Horta, with Ambassador Dax serving as the arbiter, if you will, is exactly what the administrator said. The Horta were given pretty much autonomous control of this little world. Along with there's a couple other worlds that are mentioned throughout systems. They were given transport to those systems and allowed to set up their own little colonies. And yes, in there was part of the agreement that the Horta insisted on was in the interests of cooperation and collaboration with simpler life forms, genetically simpler life forms, would be to be able to bring on carbon-based assistants to live with and work with the Horta colonies. And yes, it was agreed upon. As you're looking at it, which focus did you apply? Starfleet protocols or linguistics?
Starfleet protocols.
Okay. You can clearly see that if a member of Starfleet read this, they would say, yes, this means that you can bring on Federation citizens to assist you. But it doesn't actually state that anywhere.
Yeah, that's what I thought, that it wasn't set.
It was not directly set. So you can't necessarily say it's a loophole, but it's not a loophole.
Yeah.
Now, as you are looking at the agreement that brought on the Cardassians, it gives you a list of who all is there and the listing of personnel, all civilian, scientists, engineers, a doctor, some mining operations people. But the terms of this agreement are trash for the Cardassians and for the Horta.
Oh?
As you see, the facilitator of this was a Daimon Grell. Daimon Grell.
Do you mind telling me a little bit about this Daemon Grell?
Daimon Grell He's a blood-sucking, no good, soulless imp. But without him, we wouldn't have our colony.
And reading this, can I figure out if these guys, these Cardassians, they're independents? They're not working directly for like the Union officially.
As you look at this, the terms are really weird. The terms require that the colonists falsify how much information, how much ore they're producing.
Like, I could just outright read that.
Yes. It's in strange, legalish speak, but yes.
It's like, you'll raise an eyebrow. It's just like a clause to falsify mineral output.
Yes. It keeps the Union off our backs when it looks like we're just an underperforming mining colony.
Right. Because in the Union, more or less everyone's supposed to work for the state, if I recall, in one way or another.
That would be correct. Fortunately, that doesn't leave much room for scientists and inventors and engineers, unless it benefits the state.
I see. Legally, I don't see anything that's outright against Federation law. Just a misinput of updated information.
The DMZ hasn't been established yet, has it?
Correct.
It's just like, technically it's a horde colony, and it didn't forbid them, so... Like, Starfleet and Federation wouldn't like it, but it isn't illegal at the moment.
As you're there in a little bit of a quandary, I think for our closing bit, Cheesy, are you back?
Yes, I'm back.
Okay. We're going to go to, as I hide the as we come to you entering the medical facility of this colony, you see an older Cardassian man who is going from these two patients back and forth, scanning, rummaging through his supplies, trying to find something, pulling out a hypo spray, looking at it, looking at the cartridge, It's barely full. He goes to one of them, tries to inject it. Sighs. Ejects the cartridge, starts rummaging around through his supplies. Excuse me, doctor? You have a visitor? Yes, huh? Huh? Starfleet? The hell is Starfleet doing here?
What we're always here to do, to help.
Oh, is that what you call it? Huh. Well, if you're here to help, I need some help here. Trying to keep these two comfortable while we let our old dermal regenerators do their work. You happen to have anything in that bag of yours to ease some pain?
I definitely do.
Well, if you had enough, I'd ask for a little bit myself, but let's focus on the patients first.
Yes, well.
Lieutenant Baxtra, you give me a reason and science roll. A reason and medicine roll.
You scared me for a second there.
Sorry. To scan these guys. Difficulty of 1.
Right. Any of my focuses apply?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
All right, gain 1 momentum. Lieutenant Baxtra, these men have been shot by disruptors. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Oh, good one.
Oh, fantastic.
Very good. Very good.
Wunderbar.
Thank you all for joining us on another adventure of Partisan's Edge in the Land of the Blind, Part 1. Once again, we'd like to thank our generous host, GM in the Great Barrier, for letting us tell our story through his channel. He truly is the center for all of your gaming entertainment galactic needs. And I butchered that terribly. But it's okay. It's 10 p.m. and I'm tired. We'll see you all back. Hi, Tired. You're Lieutenant Commander Sakal. We'll see you all back here next week, all things permitting, to continue our story. We'll get to see what Commander Dyood and Lieutenant Commander Sakal have been up to. Have they had a fun time? Possibly.
Probably not.
Have they found themselves some Horta? Who knows?
Probably.
Will they kill a Horta? I hope
No.
not.
Most assuredly not.
Thanks again. We hope to see you back here again next week. And with that, hailing frequencies are closed.